What's happening?
Mark's already had a little snapper, it was too small. The water is very clear today, and I seem to have picked up a bigger fish. He was very strange, he just bit the line and sat there, so I thought, well, I better check it out, and then lo and behold, it's actually quite a good fish, so we'll see what he is. But he's a bit of a dead weight, so he might be double hooked or something like that, so we'll see how he goes. I think he's definitely a keeper.
Oh, cool. Oh,
yeah, he's quite a good fish.
That's
Quite a good fish, actually. Very good fish.
Monster, John.
He's a good fish.
What are you on about?
Wow. Well, there you go. Get him in. That's on the old weasel, of course. 40-gram weasel, Lumo, 2 hooks. He's only got one. I better get him in, I think, actually, before he gets off. Well, there he is. He's a good fish. Very good eating fish. About 43.
Amazing.
Nice snapper. That was a good start.
That was a quiet little catch you caught.
Yeah. Beautiful weather here today. Beautiful. It's just really stopped. It's changing over. It'll be changing to the north, so it will change. No real bird sign yet. We just picked fish up off the bottom, so we'll just keep doing this for a bit. Well, we moved a lot closer to the Coromandel because we saw a few birds flying around, but they weren't gannets, and there were boats here, and there still are boats here, so we're very close. But it's just shearwaters. They're flying everywhere. There's no focus. I managed to pick up a fish just when we were deciding to leave. Of course, that's just moving your lure a little bit, and then something has to take it. So there's no real bird activity. So we're just drifting, and I managed to get something. I think it'll be a keeper, but it's not a big fish. So we were going to plan to move towards the squiggles. That's out towards Little Barrier, and just keep an eye on the bottom all the way, and stop wherever we can, and hopefully some action will happen. It's high tide at the moment, so it's to be expected that maybe activity is low until the tide starts moving again. This fish will be a keeper, but he's not a big fish.
Lost my bait.
He's only just though. We might let him go anyway.
You take a peg out.
Well, I just stuck my line over again and bang-o, so maybe we've just run onto a few fish. This one feels a little bit better at this stage. The report was that there were lots of pannies around, and so that seems to be the case. Yes, ease a little guy, get his bubbles out, probably let him go. He'll be too close to legal or illegal, so we'll let him go. Live another day. Well, here we are, close to the Coromandel. There's a few clouds on top. We are very close. Probably only, I don't know, 500 metres or something. You see the cars driving past. There's not a lot of activity here. We're catching little fish. Every time we plan to go, we catch another little one and we hope it's bigger, but we just seem to be on to little fish here, so we may still move. But they keep tempting us to stay. So as you can see, it's a very flat day. Every time I jiggle my lure, I catch a fish, so. But they are undersized. It's not too deep here, so it's quite easy for releasing. We'll just see how we go. We'll probably move off soon. Mark and I have relocated. We've gone to the squiggles because it was not happening at Barrier. They're too small, at Coromandel. And we've gone to there's some gannet sitting on the water by the 50-metre holes, the 2 holes out by the squiggles, and put my line over and I've picked up a good fish quite quickly. So I presume it's a snapper. Got a bit of pull. I haven't got my tension up very strong today. The water is very clear today. We don't have all that floating stuff. And Mark's on as well. Good fish, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Oh, he's still there.
And we have the company of a boat over here. One boat is sitting in the spot also. You can see the gannets just sitting on the water over there. It's always a sign that something's happened at some stage. They're just waiting for the next round to start. They'll possibly move off somewhere or it'll flare up again. I've got another line. Oh, I've got my other line, so that's not good. However, he's a keeper.
That's good fish, Joe. Oh, he's not so big after all.
Okay, Mark's got one there.
Not so big.
He's probably big enough, but he may go back. We'll just see. Just playing with my line to get it, maybe pull it in, and fish decides it's going to get on it. It's a small snapper, I think, so. We'll get him in, but obviously there's fish here, so that's the best we've done so far, really.
Eggs out, John.
I've taken 2 out, 2 pigs. Here he comes, bubbles everywhere. I don't think he's big enough. I think we'll let him go. Just a nice little fish. It's on the jelly baby with this slider head. This line got struck on the way down. I don't know whether he's still there or not. Oh, yep,
Sure is.
still there. We've got dolphins out the back here, just cruising past. They're not really feeding, but it's good to know that they're around too. So we've got dolphins and gannets. So that's why we've got some snapper below us. Because something has gone on here. Mark's got he's got a bigger fish. That's good. They're both hooked up. And the dolphins are going past. Stay around, boys. Don't go away. Okay. You can see the dolphins over here. There's some little ones with them actually, little tiny guys. This fish is quite a good fish because he's bending my rod quite a lot at times. Oh yeah, nice fish. It's on the old prawn, very good fish. We've got to put a few fish away there, don't we?
Oh, stay with us.
Bring mine up. So once again, it's find the birds, dolphins, and there's probably fish underneath. There's not much activity going on anymore, but there's obviously a dinner bell there for a while and it's brought some fish around and they're still in the area, so as we're just drifting around, we're catching them. There we go. Oh, it's on the jelly baby, pink jelly baby, on a slider.
Oh, good size.
Good fish.
Size.
Good eating fish.
Oh, yeah, good area. Yeah, good on you.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Little gurnard.
Great. Well done. So yeah, get yourself a little MacBook Pro and I think you'll be away.
We repositioned ourselves again at the squiggles, try and drift through our old marks. Mark's got a little snapper, I think.
Little snapper, I think, yeah.
So, oh, there's a few bites around. So we'll just see how we go as we drift through, see whether it keeps the reputation of delivering or not. Oh yeah, he's marginal, isn't he? He may be a keeper.
He's a 30, I think.
We'll
Or
see.
39.
Measure him and see, eh? Oh, picked up a fish. So we're trying to drift through some old marks that we've had on the squiggles. We just got to finally look at what our drift pattern is, see where we're going, what direction. And we'll recorrect that if we're actually not drifting the way we hoped that we might, so we'll see. But this fish is just a little guy, and he's released all his bubbles. He's going to be too small, we'll have to let him go back. So once again, small snapper. Mark's got a good fish, and I've got one too, on this line I believe. Hopefully. If he decides to stay on, he might not be on, but Mark's got his fish, so... Oops, and we must be going through a patch of fish because that line's got one too.
Oh.
What's going on?
And the squiggles.
Maybe we're getting into the squiggles. There's no sign at all. There's no bird life. So, how's he going, Mark? How's he feel?
Looking good.
It's coming up?
Yeah.
Whoa, that fish, my fish is deciding to... Oh, nice snapper. Yeah, he's well hooked. You better drag him in. Very good. I think what we've got here is... Yeah, excellent fish. I better attend to my fish because I do have more than one.
I think you should attend to your fish job.
Got two fish on. Mark's just got one, and I've got one on each rod. So we must have just gone through a patch. Oops. Oh, did I lose mine? Oh, damn, I did. Felt him go.
Got one.
All right. Go back to the other line. We'll let that one down. And hopefully I've still got my fish on the other one. Yes, I do. He's still there. I'm going to push a mark. I'm going to put a mark on the map, on the GPS, just to mark that spot. So sometimes I'll do that if we get a lot of hits in one spot. You can put a permanent mark or a temporary mark because it's good to go and have another drift in that spot. So you know that, well, we got fish there, and if you get fish there again, then you know it's worth hanging around. In fact, it's when you want one of those sabiki mode or a mode on your motors or a Minn Kota that will hold you on the spot, and then you can just stay there. Especially on a day like today when it's so absolutely calm. This is going to be a good snapper because he's got a bit of pull. So we are onto an area just here where there's some better fish. In fact, I'm getting a fish, I think, on my other rod too, so there's definitely some fish here. And it's getting hot. The sun is out, full with no clouds now, so all of a sudden it's turned very hot. Yes, that line there is going berserk. Whoa, it's off. That's a better fish. I better get this one up. And often when I leave that fish disappears and... Oh, is he tangled? I think we are. We're around the line, unfortunately.
Oh, bugger.
How am I going to do this?
Net here, John.
Um,
Net coming in. Sorry. Net there it is. Whoa, good sized fish.
yes, and we'll get rid of him. Untangle my line. Because I believe I have another fish, but braid is so tricky to deal with. Yes, I've got another fish for sure. Tangle, tangle. There we go. We're over him. We're over this. I think we'll just hang that out there for now while we deal with this one. Because I think there was a very good fish on this.
Oh yes, another big strike.
Have I lost my fish? Oh, I've lost him.
You're going to my one, John.
Damn.
He's on here.
I think Mark's got him. Oh, someone's taken mine on the way down. Oh, no. I had a bite. I thought anyway. Oh, it's not that far down, so it's near the bottom anyway. So there are some fish around here at the moment. Mark seems to have hooked up on something. My soft bait seems to have a bit of company. And Mark is pulling his fish in. It's a good fish, Mark?
Yeah, good size, yeah.
So, yeah, this was a good fish. Oh, that was my fish, wasn't it? So, very good. Oh yes, and that line there is biting too. So, we've definitely got into an area of fish here. Whew, it's getting hot because there's no wind to keep us cool.
Put that,
How's it going, Mark? Do you need the net, do you think?
those bubbles.
He's a keeper. Oh yeah, nice fish, same size. So there's obviously a school of fish like that around. Very good. All of a sudden we've got a bit going on. So we'll just clear things and get back to normal. Here he comes. Oh, he's caught up in another line too, is he? Yes, we seem to be getting tangled up these days. Too many lines over. However, we'll get him in. He's a good fish. And I think there's a fish on the other end of it. That's the trouble. There's two fish on once again. Well, we definitely got a bit busier, and even my soft bait. I've got a new squid lure on it. Squid softy. Looks really like a squid. And it's picked up a good snapper. So it hasn't been doing that well until now. But all of a sudden, we're definitely in an area of more fish. They just must be grazing on the bottom.
Don't do mine over the top here, John.
Yep. Okay, he's come up rather funny, this guy, so I'm not quite sure what's up. But I thought he was tangled with another line, but don't think so. He's hooked rather funny, that's all. He's pinched my soft bait and hooked himself. So I had a squid bait on that and it's gone. So whether it's gone inside this fish, I'm not sure. He's a keeper, but he's got a lot of air going on, so we'll get rid of the air and we'll see whether he's pinched my squid. It seems like at the moment, as soon as we hit the bottom, we're getting a fish, so it's turned very good. Mark's got one there too. His is, he thinks, is small. Mine is smallish too, I think, but he's a keeper, I think, for sure. Although he's getting smaller as he's coming up. Getting fit, all his bubbles have come out, so that's good. He'll be good to go. See a little barrier out there with this classic cloud on top. That's quite a signature for little barrier. Just a beautiful day again. It's very calm at the moment. The sea breeze is supposed to start pretty soon, but there's no sign of it yet. So just a moment's peace. I've got one rod out here in a holder that's got my little weasel on it, little knife jig, micro jig, 2 hooks on it. That's one that catches most of my fish. Then I've just put out the bender rod, and that's got the Shimano on it, and it's got a slider on it with a normal orange curly tail slider. And then out the back I have my soft bait up there. I've just stuck actually an atomic sunrise on that 7-inch, so I'm just dragging that a little bit along the bottom, so we'll see how that goes. So a bit of a lull at the moment and we'll see what happens. I'll just check our tracking, see whether we're tracking in the right place. Well, it's the orange slider on the bender that's picked up the first fish. This is a very bendy rod. It doesn't feel like much of a fish though. It's still there, wriggling around. Bends a lot, very soft tip on it, so it's quite good for these small hooks. And if they're just caught in the lip, it has a lot of, I guess, suspension, so that the hooks can't get ripped out of lips if they're only just caught, especially with a bigger fish, so there's a lot of give in it.
Look at this one.
Here we come, little fella, too small, but he looks like he's in good condition. He's had a good take on this rod. This is the weasel. He's got a bit more weight, this guy. He's a bit more serious. Because we've been getting quite a lot of little fish. So it's always good to get a bigger fish. Because often if you get too many little ones, you just move off, go somewhere else where there's not little fish. No point in catching them and putting them back all the time. There we go, he's going round and round, so he's doing the old sideways, so I think he's got the two hooks. Lots of air bubbles shooting up to the surface. Whew. But a good fish, good penny. Oh yes, a bit heavy. However, we've managed it. It's on the old weasel again.
Good size.
Yeah, he's a good size fish. Good table fish. Better fish for Mark. I just had such a bad tangle in my lines that I've had to cut a few of the lures off and just put those lines aside because I can't use them anymore. I'll untangle it at home, but that's the good thing about having more than one rod. If one really just does tangle up and you don't want to cut the line, you can just roll it up and take it home, sort it out at home, use another rod. Feels all right, does he, Mark?
Is that their teether?
Yeah. We're just slowly getting snapper as we're fishing here. And in fact, I have another one here. Look at this line going crazy, so that's good. I better get onto that. So, because I've had to bring my weasel in, because that one's the line that's got all crazy, I've now put out a 60 gram knife jig on this setup, which is a lot stronger setup. So, and it picked up a fish straight away. Mark's got his snapper over here. He's a keeper, Mark.
It turned out to be not that.
He's shrunk, has he? They do that in the salt water, they shrink. Oh, yeah, he's a shrink. Okay, he's shrunk. I think mine's a bit shrinky too. Yeah. So we just repositioned because we weren't actually quite drifting properly in our zone, so we repositioned and now I've got two good fish on straight away. Just hit the bottom, so, well, that means that it was the right move. You do have to move sometimes. As you can see, that line there has also got a fish on it. Wow. All these bubbles are coming out. He's coming up sideways and upside down and around about. He's a good penny. He's not a big boy. It's a nice eating fish. That's on the weasel again. It's a new weasel because my last one I had to take off. It was so tangled. Mark's on too. So there's definitely some fish here. I'll put my line over. I probably shouldn't because I've still got a fish on the other line, I believe. Let's see if he's still there. They have a habit of getting off.
Oh, he's taken off a bit.
And I think he has got off.
Oh, mine just got off.
Yes. Mark's has got off, and that one's got off. They know how to get off today. Wow. Okay, we got one. Oh, yes, someone attacked that on the way down.
Good one.
So I don't know what it is. It's not big at this stage. Oh, okay. Let's see. Put a bit more tension on.
Good size there, is
Yeah, he's a keeper. For sure. Turn that ratchet off.
What are you going to do with the one on the tray?
This is a slider. Oh, that was a bit of a decide to not come with me. Well, he's a keeper, isn't he?
Okay.
I'll see what this guy's like. So this fish is caught on the jelly baby again. I've just thrown that back over because my other one has been compromised and I've had to store it away till I sort it out. But the jelly babies have been very successful lately, especially on a slider head. I know that Paul was showing them last night. Mark was rigging them on a soft bait hook, and apparently that's having quite a lot of success too. That's the jelly babies, or it's another called a Nico soft bait, but it looks just like an octopus. It looks like the jelly baby. This will be a good fish. So we're definitely in a zone where there's some fish again. So interesting. Sometimes you often move to a place and often straight away you'll catch a fish.
On the way down.
So the fish seem to be a bit higher up in the water column because we're getting them as we're lowering the bait and the lures down. There he comes. It's a bit full of air. I'll be able to pull him on. He's hooked in two places, so he'll be all right. Great eating fish, eating size. So that's the jelly baby with my slider on it. And he's got two hooks in him, so he isn't going to get anywhere. They often feel bigger when you pull them in like that. It's hard for them to fight properly. I've just picked up a fish on that line, so I better deal to that.
Shook himself off.
Mark lost his. He went soft on it and it went away on him. It got away. It shook its head and got off. That's the trouble with lures. Sometimes they're so. Oops! I've just lost this good fish. Oh no! Felt like the best one of the day, and he's gone. Oh damn. Okay. Hey, Mark just got a good strike, so that got him off the telephone. So we're definitely on some fish here again, which is nice. Here he comes. What's he look like? Oh, nice fish, lots of bubbles. Oh, he's one of the bigger ones of the day, I'd say. Yeah, nice fish. Cool.
And he's gobbed my hook.
50 or so. Good snap.
Gobbed it right down.
Nice fish. Oh well. We're keeping them anyway.
Very well. We'll just.
A little barrier out there in the distance, and the sea breeze hasn't come in very strong at all. It's just starting now, and we're 3:15, so it's late, which is nice. It can blow us home soon. We'll be going pretty soon. I think I got a fish on this line. I better check. Had a good strike on this rod, so but I noticed that the other one is also having bites, so suddenly we've hit a patch of fish. Oh, stay on, mate. This fish feels like he's a bit bigger than before. You got one too, Mark?
Yeah,
Mark's got a small one, and I've got a good one, and I think I've got another one too, but I don't know whether he's still there. They get off as they can use the lure to actually sort of wrench the hook out of themselves if you're not keeping the pressure on the hook. Here he comes. Whoa, he's a good fish.
Oh, look at that.
Very good fish. He's got a fair bit of air embolism going on there. But a good fish. Is he well hooked? No, he's only lip hooked. Net, please, Mark. Oh.
Right beside.
Yep, beside me. Cool.
Whoa, good fish shot. Well, I have to measure him. It's pretty good size.
Yeah, he's a good size to keep. Excellent size. And to the other rod, which had a fish attack it as well, so I don't think he's quite the fish of the last one. He's still got a bit of boogie. There he comes. Doesn't want to come up. Over this way, mate. Bubbles. Another good panny. That's on the jelly baby.
Whoa.
Good fish. So, just going over the trip. So we just left OBC, went straight out. We were going out here again because there had been workups through this area during the week, and it sounded pretty good actually everywhere, right across. But as it is often when they're happening, you've got to be there, otherwise they've eaten all the fish and the excitement's over. So unfortunately for us, we got there and there was just nothing happening on the Friday. So we fished a little bit and we went a bit closer. Still no bird sign anywhere, no real place to go anywhere other than continue our plan, which was to go out to the squiggles and sort of rely on them a little bit. And we would continue on if they were no good, but we managed to pick up fish there, so we just moved around and tried to watch our tracking lines, but so the wind would come in and change that with the tide. But it was very smooth and easy fishing, so we got our snapper there, and then there were dolphins around here and there and the odd bird, but nothing, no action really. So then we just made our way back, went against the tide through here, which was a little bit lumpy going home. It was behind us, but the tide coming out, it's amazing the difference it can make. But it was still a good day. We definitely got our nice penny snapper around, so nothing big, but good eaters, so it was a good day.